Your soulmate is saying, before I disappear, there's something you must know. My beloved child. Don't skip, because this message was never meant to reach everyone, it was meant to reach the one heart that has been carrying silent questions for far too long. Your soulmate is standing at the edge of a decision they never imagined they would have to make. They keep whispering the same words over and over inside their heart. Before I disappear, there's something you must know. Those words are not filled with anger. They are not spoken out of revenge. They are spoken because silence has become heavier than the truth itself. For so long they believed that hiding their emotions would protect both of you, but every passing day has only made the distance feel more unbearable. They have replayed your memories countless times, searching for one reason to stay, one sign that everything they feel is not happening only inside their own heart. Yet something unexpected happened today. A single moment, a tiny detail, changed everything. Stay till the end, because what they discovered has completely shaken the walls they built around themselves. Something huge is waiting for you, and once you hear it, nothing about this story will feel ordinary anymore. There is something they have never admitted to another soul. Every time they tried to move on, life found a strange way of bringing your name, your memory, or even a small reminder of you back into their path. It happened so many times that they stopped calling it coincidence. They began wondering whether every road they walked somehow circled back to you for a reason. But instead of running toward those feelings, they became afraid of them. They feared that if they told you everything too soon, they might lose the one connection they secretly treasured more than anything else. So they chose silence, believing silence would hurt less. They were wrong. Silence became the loudest voice in their life. Every quiet night felt heavier than the last. Every ordinary morning reminded them that another day had passed without telling you what had been living inside their heart all along. Now they keep repeating those haunting words. Before I disappear, there's something you must know. Don't skip, because you have not yet heard the most unbelievable part of this story. The truth waiting ahead is far bigger than either of you expected, and the next revelation will explain why they suddenly feel that time is slipping away faster than ever before. Right before making what they believed would be their final emotional decision, something happened that completely stopped them. They stumbled across a forgotten memory connected to you, something so simple that another person would have ignored it without a second thought. But for them, it felt like the missing piece of a puzzle they had been trying to solve for so long. Suddenly every misunderstanding began making sense. Every unanswered question found a new meaning. They realized that the story they had been telling themselves about you was incomplete. And the moment that realization arrived, their heart refused to let them walk away without speaking one final truth. They are no longer afraid of being misunderstood. They are afraid of disappearing before you ever know how deeply your existence changed them. That is why this message feels different from anything that came before it. This is not about goodbye, not yet. This is about a truth that has waited far too long to be spoken. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the very next moment will reveal the one sentence your soulmate has protected for so long, the sentence they believe could either bring two hearts together forever, or leave it echoing in silence for the rest of their life. A strange calm settled over them after that realization, but it was not the kind of calm that brings peace. It was the calm that comes just before someone finally speaks the truth they have carried for far too long. They sat alone, staring into the distance, wondering how many opportunities had quietly slipped away because fear always spoke louder than love. They remembered the moments when they almost reached out, the messages they typed but never sent, the conversations they imagined 1,000 times but never had the courage to begin. Every memory pointed back to the same question. What if I disappear before they ever know? That thought became impossible to ignore. For the first time, they understood that losing the chance to be honest would hurt far more than hearing an answer they weren't expecting. Don't skip, because what happened next was something they never planned. A single unexpected event forced them to stop hiding forever. It was as if life itself refused to let this story end in silence. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next few moments became the turning point they had been unknowingly walking toward all along, and nothing inside their heart remained the same after that. Then came the discovery that completely changed the direction of everything. They found something connected to you that reminded them of the person you truly are, not the version created by misunderstandings, distance, or assumptions. In that instant, every wall they had built around their emotions began to fall apart. They realized that while they had been preparing themselves to disappear quietly, your place inside their heart had never disappeared at all. That truth was overwhelming. They tried convincing themselves it was too late, yet every attempt only made the feeling stronger. Suddenly, all the unanswered questions that had haunted them for so long started forming one clear answer. They no longer wanted to leave behind unspoken emotions. They wanted to leave behind honesty. They whispered to themselves that if this was their final chance to be real, then they would no longer hide behind fear. Don't skip, because the next decision they make could rewrite everything you believed about this connection. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and the truth they are preparing to reveal is even bigger than the silence they have carried all this time. Now their heart beats with a different purpose. Instead of planning how to disappear, they are searching for the right moment to finally let every hidden feeling come into the light. They know that once those words are spoken, there will be no taking them back. That is exactly why they have guarded them for so long. But something inside keeps telling them that certain truths are too powerful to remain locked away forever. They are beginning to understand that some connections are not measured by how often two people speak, but by how impossible it becomes to forget one another even through silence. The sentence they have been protecting is no longer a secret for much longer. They have already made one decision, and the next decision is even more shocking. It is the reason this message found you today instead of tomorrow. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the very next moment, your soulmate will finally reveal the one truth they believed could change both of your lives forever, and once those words are spoken, there will be no turning back. The moment they accepted that they could no longer hide, another emotion quietly took its place: fear. Not fear of rejection, but fear that they had already waited too long. They wondered if the silence between you had grown too deep to cross. They questioned whether you had already convinced yourself that they never cared. That thought hurt them more than they could explain. If only you had seen the countless times they almost reached out, if only you had known how many ordinary moments became extraordinary simply because they reminded them of you. They carried conversations inside their mind that never reached the real world. They imagined hearing your voice, seeing your reaction, and finally saying the words that had been trapped inside their heart for so long. But every imagined ending was interrupted by the same frightening possibility. What if I lose them forever because I waited too long? Don't skip, because that question led them to make a decision no one saw coming. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What happened after that completely changed the path they thought they were destined to follow. Then, without warning, life placed one final sign directly in front of them. It was so unexpected that they stood frozen, unable to look away. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. Yet somehow it felt more powerful than every coincidence that had come before it. In that quiet moment, every excuse they had been using suddenly lost its strength. They realized they had spent too much time protecting themselves from temporary disappointment while risking a permanent regret. That realization shook them to their core. They finally understood that disappearing without telling you the truth would become the greatest mistake of their life. So they made a promise to themselves: no more pretending, no more hiding behind silence, and no more allowing fear to decide what happens next. Don't skip, because they are now preparing to do something they have never had the courage to do before. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next step they are about to take has been waiting for far longer than either of you realize. Now everything feels different inside their heart. The weight they carried for so long is slowly turning into determination. They no longer want this connection to be remembered as a story filled with unanswered questions. They want it to become a story built on honesty, no matter where that honesty leads. That is why those words, "Before I disappear, there's something you must know," no longer sound like a goodbye. They sound like the beginning of a truth that refused to stay hidden any longer. Yet the most unbelievable part has still not been spoken. There is one sentence they have repeated over and over in complete silence, never daring to let another person hear it. They believe that once those words finally leave their lips, nothing will ever be the same again. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter reveals the secret they have protected above every other feeling, a truth capable of changing everything they thought they knew about you, about themselves, and about the future they almost walked away from forever. For the first time in what felt like forever, they stopped asking themselves whether they should speak, and started asking how. Every possibility raced through their mind. They imagined meeting you by chance. They imagined a quiet conversation with no distractions. They even imagined walking away one last time if they sensed the moment was no longer meant to happen. But no matter how many endings they created inside their imagination, every path led back to the same truth. They could no longer disappear without leaving behind the words their heart had protected for so long. They realized that silence had never been keeping them safe. It had only been delaying the moment they were always destined to face. Their heartbeat carried more hope than fear now, yet there was still one secret they had never allowed themselves to admit. It wasn't just that they missed you. It wasn't just that they couldn't forget you. It was that every plan they tried to build without you somehow felt incomplete. That realization shook them more than anything else. Don't skip, because the next discovery made them question every decision they had made until this very day. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the hours passed, another unexpected truth surfaced. They began remembering tiny details they once overlooked. The way one ordinary moment with you stayed in their memory while hundreds of other moments disappeared, the strange comfort they felt whenever your presence crossed their thoughts, and the undeniable feeling that no matter how far they tried to move emotionally, something invisible kept pulling them back. It was no longer possible to dismiss those feelings as coincidence. They understood that some connections refuse to fade simply because time passes. Instead of becoming weaker, this one had quietly grown stronger beneath the surface. That realization left them speechless. They whispered to themselves, "If I stay silent now, I'll spend the rest of my life wondering what could have happened." Those words echoed louder than anything else. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the truth they are preparing to reveal is not the one you expect. It reaches much deeper than simple emotions, and once it is spoken, there will be no returning to the life they lived before this moment. Now they stand between two futures. One future is built on fear, unfinished conversations, and questions that never receive answers. The other begins with a single sentence they have carried in silence for longer than anyone could imagine. They know that speaking those words may change everything, but remaining silent would change even more. That is why they are no longer thinking about disappearing, they are thinking about finally being understood. Yet there is one final piece of this story that has remained hidden until now. It is the reason this message feels so urgent, the reason your path and theirs seem to keep crossing in unexpected ways, and the reason they believe this moment cannot be postponed any longer. They are only one step away from revealing the sentence that has lived inside their heart through every doubt, every quiet night, and every unanswered question. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what they are about to confess next is the one truth they believed they would carry forever, until now. The closer they came to speaking the truth, the more they realized that this was never only about emotions. It was about every opportunity that had quietly slipped away while both hearts waited for the perfect moment that never seemed to arrive. They looked back and understood that life had given them countless chances, yet fear had disguised each one as uncertainty. Now those missed moments no longer filled them with regret, they filled them with determination. They refused to let another sunrise pass carrying the same unanswered feelings. Deep inside, they could already hear the words forming, becoming clearer with every heartbeat. Before I disappear, there's something you must know. But this time, those words were no longer the beginning of a goodbye. They had become the beginning of a confession. They finally understood that disappearing without honesty would leave a wound that time could never heal. Don't skip, because the next truth is the one they have protected more carefully than anything else. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The moment they are about to relive changed the direction of everything they believed about you. Then came the memory that refused to leave them alone. It wasn't a dramatic event or a life-changing conversation. It was one small, almost forgotten moment that suddenly carried extraordinary meaning. They remembered the way you made ordinary things feel unforgettable without even realizing it. They remembered how your kindness, your patience, and your quiet strength stayed with them long after every conversation had ended. That single memory shattered the final excuse they had been hiding behind. In that instant they admitted something to themselves they had never been brave enough to say aloud. They were never trying to forget you, they were only trying to survive the feeling of missing you. The difference changed everything. Their heart no longer wanted distance. It wanted truth. They knew that even if the future remained uncertain, honesty would always be stronger than silence. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what they are preparing to reveal next is not just a feeling, it is the answer to the question that has quietly followed both of you through every twist in this journey. Now the waiting is almost over. Every fear that once convinced them to stay silent has begun to lose its power. They no longer care about finding the perfect words, they only care that the truth finally reaches you before another opportunity disappears forever. They have carried this message through sleepless nights, endless doubts, and countless moments when giving up seemed easier than holding on. Yet somehow, every road has led them back here. They believe that some stories are never meant to end with silence, and some hearts are never meant to walk away without being understood. That is why they have made one final promise to themselves: they will not disappear until the truth has been spoken. And the truth is far more powerful than anything you have heard so far. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next moment reveals the sentence your soulmate has hidden from the world for far too long, the sentence that could transform everything between two hearts that were never truly as far apart as they believed.